did a thing. Hello everyone, my name is Laura. How are you? Update in my life. I got a job. I start in mid-August. I'm very excited. It's the job that I was in at Christmas. I'm going back to it, so permanent position, bitches. The majority of these books I've had on my TBR for a while, and recently I just caved and bought most of them. All of them, really. So without further ado, let's get into the video properly. First off, I'm going to show you my current reads. I'm reading two books at the minute. One is a Victorian classic, and then another is one that I think only came out at the end of last year. It's kind of just like a modern fiction coming of age kind of story. I'll show you in a second. So the classic that I'm reading is New Grub Street by George Gissing. I bought this when I was up in Antrim. I'm on page 150 of 551. I'm really enjoying it. I started listening to the audiobook along with reading the physical copy last night. The audiobook's on Scribd. New Grub Street is following a group of struggling authors in an 1880s London. Some have more confidence in themselves and their writing than others, and they're all kind of really struggling to get by. One thing that's really interesting to me is a lot of the characters are really battling with the idea of maybe having to write more popular stories, the stories that sell, rather than what they are actually personally interested in writing in order to make money. And I feel like definitely a lot of authors go through the same thing today, so it's really weird and interesting seeing that in characters from the 1880s, when a lot of people probably go through the exact same thing today, feeling like they have to write what's popular and what sells, rather than, oh my god, my ear is so pink, rather than writing what they actually want to write because they don't think that it'll sell, or it just simply flat out won't sell. The character work is really strong. I love the female characters. Really enjoying this. Very excited to see where it goes. I am also reading a very stressful book. It's breaking me out in a sweat. It's The Lying Life of Adults by Elena Ferrante. Started this a couple of days ago. It's driving me a little insane, I'm not gonna lie. I am enjoying it, but the characters. This starts out with our main character. She's a 13-year-old girl living with her two parents in Italy. One day she overhears her father say to her mother in an argument that the daughter is turning into his sister, who he hates, the whole family hates, nobody talks to her, nobody is in contact with her, and she's seen as like this wicked witch in the family. So this young girl is kind of like, oh my god, I'm being compared to this horrible, disgusting person who's just like the definition of evil to this family. Obviously, I'm turning ugly and rude and bratty and catty and just everything that my dad hates. I'm obviously turning into a horrible person, and this starts to drive her absolutely insane. And so in order to kind of put her mind to rest, she asks her parents, can she meet this sister, because she's never met her, she's never seen what she looks like, and she kind of just needs to put her mind at ease by seeing this sister and seeing that she looks nothing like her and that her personality is nothing like hers, because she's driving herself insane thinking that she's turning into this witch. It's really interesting, and I am enjoying following these characters. But they're fucking nuts. I feel bad for this girl. She's a young teenager, she's insecure, she has just a lot of issues. Problems are happening in the family. I won't go into spoilers, but she has a lot to deal with. But she's so fucking annoying. Everyone is so fucking annoying. If this is on your TBR and you've kind of been thinking about reading it, but I've kind of scared you by saying that everyone is insufferable, if you go into the book knowing that already, you might enjoy it a lot more. I'm still enjoying it, and the fact that I don't like them means I can kind of just sit back and watch all of this absolute shit show happen in all of their lives and just be like, keep it coming, okay. Because I don't like them. That is it for my currently reading. Now let's get into the books I have not read, but I'm planning to read very soon. The very first book that I have here is one that I actually bought today. It is Beach Read by Emily Henry. From what I know about Beach Read, we are following two characters called January and Gus. They are two writers. January is a very hopeless romantic. Gus is a very serious young man who just sees love as a load of bullshit, basically. I think the plot is kind of like they go on this holiday They don't really like each other, but in the end they need each other's assistance because they both need to write bestsellers before the trip is over. They kind of have this bet going of who can get published first. Next, I have Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. What I know about Honey Girl is that we're following a girl called Grace Porter. She is out on a girls' trip in Vegas after completing her PhD in astronomy, and one night she drunkenly marries a woman that she doesn't know. When I first heard of this, I kind of thought instantly of What Happens in Vegas, and I thought this was going to be a kind of easygoing rom-com chick lit kind of story. I was kind of looking into a couple of reviews popped up on Goodreads, and some people were saying it's a lot darker than that. I don't necessarily know if this is YA. I'm guessing it's not if she's just finished her PhD and she's in Vegas with her girls. I've wanted to read this for a while, so I'm glad I finally picked it up. This cover is so beautiful. I am so excited for my next book. It is a sequel to a book that I read this month. What month are we in? July. Yeah, I read it about 2 weeks ago, and I loved it. The second book is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. Six of Crows really blew me away, and it really lived up to the hype for me. Like, it's such a huge book. It's so popular, and everybody that kind of gives it a go on my Goodreads page or on my Instagram page, they've loved it. And so I was kind of terrified to go into it thinking that I wouldn't like it, because that happens with me sometimes. Really hyped up books just disappoint me. But I loved Six of Crows. I love this world. I love this cast of characters. My favorite is probably Jesper, I would say. I also really like Inej. I love Kaz. I love everyone, actually, to be honest. There's not one character in there in the group that I don't like, and I'm really the way the Six of Crows ended, I'm really excited to see how it carries on. I'm hoping that it just carries on directly from where Six of Crows left off. Really excited for this. I've said that a million times, but I mean it every time. Next, I finally bought a book that I've read already. Read it early last year, and I think everybody has read it now at this point. It is Normal People by Sally Rooney. I read this just before the show came out, and it destroyed me. I felt so shit after it. Thought it was so relatable. It really reminded me of when I was a teenager, just being insecure, and boys. I love this story so much. I love the TV show. I just love everything about it. It's just so vulnerable and innocent and lovely and sad and gorgeous. I didn't like Conversations with Friends. Read it last year as well, a few weeks after I read this. I didn't like it. So some of her works really work for me and some others just don't, and that's fine. I have a lot of authors that are like that for me, so she's not the only one. When I read it last year, I read it on Scribd. I think I read like an ebook of it kind of thing. So finally have a physical copy. It's only taken me a year and a half. Very happy to have this, because I'll keep this forever. I love this story so much. I am so excited for my next book. I have had my eye on it now for a while, and I'm so glad I finally got it. It is Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. We're following a 17-year-old girl called Lily. She's a Chinese American who lives with her father, who constantly has a threat of deportation looming over him. Lily is queer, and so is her friend Kathleen, and they don't really know how to explain that or explore that until they both come across a lesbian bar called the Telegraph Club. One of their main problems is that this is set in 1954 in Chinatown in America, which is not a safe place for them to be themselves and be able to come out in a safe way. I'm very comfortable in my sexuality, and I'm really safe being queer in the country that I'm in. And even though this is in 1954, in a lot of places around the world, it's not safe for people to be themselves and be able to come out safely. I think this book is really just going to remind me of how lucky I actually am to be as safe as I am and to be able to express myself and my sexuality where I live and the year that I'm living in. Just sounds like a really important read, and I'm really happy that it exists, and I really hope that I enjoy it because it just sounds amazing. I have Perfect on Paper, and I have Hanny and Issue's Guide to Fake Dating. Very excited about both of these books. Let's get into this one first. Our first character is Hanny, and she's just come out as bisexual. She's a very popular girl, and nobody in her group believes her. They all think she's just, I don't know, making it up for attention or whatever the reason is. Nobody believes that she's bisexual. They think she's making it up. Then our second character then is Issue, who is an overachiever. She's very intelligent, likes to keep to herself and get her business done. She wants to become head girl, but in order to become head girl, she has to become popular. So what do? They pretend to be fake dating so that they can help each other out. I love the idea of this. Then we have Perfect on Paper. Darcy is a girl who at her school provides relationship advice in this space she's created called Locker 89. Nobody knows that she is the one giving out this advice, not even her best friend Brooke, who she's kind of into. My ear, what? That's there's something wrong with my ear. Her identity is about to be uncovered by a young Australian man called Alexander, who is the nerd kid in the school. And if word gets out that she is the one behind Locker 89, her best friend's going to find out and it's going to cause chaos. So she's going to do whatever she can to keep this a secret. So Darcy and Alexander strike up a deal. I'm going to help you win your ex-girlfriend back, Alexander, you little fucking shit, if you keep my secret about Locker 89. I am incredibly excited for this last final novel. The Final Girl Support Group. By Grady Hendrix. I love this man. So before I even get into this, my friend Kate from Canada, that's what I call her, Kate from Canada, we have been reading the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb together. We have one more book to go, Assassin's Quest, which hopefully we'll read in the next couple of months. Fingers crossed. I love Grady Hendrix and she knows I love Grady Hendrix, and so she got me the Final Girl Support Group. And so let's talk about it. For over a decade, our main character Lynette has been attending this support group for the final girls, the girls who survived, who got away. There are 5 other girls in this group. Everything is going well. They support each other. They have a support system there until one day Lynette comes to group and one of the girls hasn't shown up. It says that is until one of the women misses a meeting and Lynette's worst fears are realized. Someone knows about the group and is determined to take their lives apart again, piece by piece. I read My Best Friend's Exorcism last year. So fun, and I adored it, and I have a little mini review on it on my channel if you want to watch it. And then I read Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires this year. Didn't enjoy it as much as My Best Friend's Exorcism, but I still recommend it. It was still a lot of fun, but My Best Friend's Exorcism is crack to me. I am obsessed with it. I still think about it all the time. What is my hand doing? This sounds amazing. This sounds like everything I've ever needed, everything I didn't realize I needed, everything I've ever wanted in life, everything I've ever aspired to. Why do I sound like Owen Wilson? Thank you so much, Kate. You're an angel. I am gonna go have an iced drink. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't, yes, you did. I never know how to end this. Goodbye to another cut.